Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. Behind me, I have this beautiful Arctic White 2026 Corvette Stingray. It has a 6.2 liter V8 engine pushing 490 horsepower. This particular version is the LT1 package. It has a few options and goodies. But I digress. The purpose of this video today is to show you how we can make white paint pop, right? Your lighter colored vehicles like your silvers, your white colors. A lot of people say that, well, white is easy, Pan, right? You don't see any swirls, any scratches. You see a lot less of that dust. It should be very easy to detail. But anyone who actually owns a white car, or for the professional detailers out there, we know that white is actually one of the hardest vehicles to make pop, to see that gloss, to see that depth, that clarity, and that reflection. And a lot of it goes through the decontamination steps. So in this video today, I'm going to show you all the steps that are necessary to help remove things like iron contamination, right? From your brake dust, from iron fallout, from any particular commerce or industries that you have nearby, rail dust and all that good stuff. Those typically show up as those orange specks, right? Those little orange rust spots that you see on lighter colored vehicles. They're on all colored vehicles, but you see them mostly on whites and silvers. And also you have things like road film or traffic film, that kind of veil that masks the entire paintwork. That comes from oils and a bunch of substances that are found on the roads, and especially when it's raining, those get kicked up and they get thrown on the paint, and just pH neutral shampoos over time aren't enough to fully remove those. So we're going to do that and a lot more, including machine polishing in this part 1 video. And then in part 2, we're going to go ahead and do a panel prep spray, apply a ceramic coating, and do all the final touches like cleaning the glass, of course, adding a tire dressing and showing the end results. So it's a jam-packed video with a lot of fun. So yeah, without further ado, stay tuned. Let's go ahead and start the show. Alright guys, I remind you that all the products and tools that I use in this video will be linked in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's start by mixing up the Clean by Pan Decon shampoo. So this is the alkaline soap that we'll use for the pre-wash in the foam cannon. So this is a 1:10 dilution ratio, which means 30 ounces of water and 3 ounces of soap, or 900 milliliters of water and 90 milliliters of soap, depending on, of course, what quantity you want to use in your foam cannon. I'm using the Quiver foam cannon here with the active pressure washer hose that's connected to the AR630 V2 pressure washer, 2.3 gallons per minute of water output. So the goal of the pre-wash in this case is to, well, help degrease, remove road film, traffic film, grime, bug guts, so any organic type contamination. So the road film often comes from things that you'll find on the road, and especially when it's raining out there, all those oils and greases, they come up and then they get projected onto your vehicle. And especially on lighter colored cars, well, sometimes pH neutral soaps aren't enough to fully remove that, and that can build up over time and create kind of a yellowish or a brownish type finish. And you'll notice that if you clay your vehicle and you see that browning effect on your clay bar, that's typically a lot of the road film, even when the car is clean. So the goal of an alkaline pre-wash here is to help to start, well, loosen up, emulsify, and clear up those greases, those oils once again, of course, the bug guts if you have those, and make sure you do a thorough job of rinsing. This is very important, right? So the pre-wash steps prevent any marring from happening during the contact wash, because you're removing the majority of the loose dirt and debris. So there's no grit left, and all there's left for is maybe what, 10-15% of just a film to wash during the contact wash. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. So do a thorough job, clean the inner fender wells as well of the vehicle, especially if they're carpeted. That's the way you can remove all the dirt and grime. Next, we're going to attack the wheels and tires. Let's start with the tires first, because I noticed there was a gunky, very oily type tire dressing. I'm using a nuclear bombshell here of a tire cleaner. So this is CarPro Retire. I'm doing a first pass scrubbing with a nylon brush. and then I'm going to rinse off, and we're going to see if that was good enough in the first pass by doing a second pass of the product scrubbing again. And as you're going to see here, we see some white foam, and that's an indication that we removed or stripped away the previous dressing. Now, this is because we're resetting the wheels and tires to have like new, right? We're spraying now Quiver Brake. This is a wheel and tire cleaner, and using different brushes to clean the wheel faces and the inner barrels as well. For your tires, you don't always have to use dedicated tire cleaners, especially not on a weekly basis, because you'd be removing a little too much of the anti-ozonants that are contained in the rubber or compound, and those are made to protect against the UV rays, and they migrate to the surface and they oxidize when in contact with water and oxygen, and they turn to a brownish effect. That's the blooming. So that's totally normal. By applying a tire dressing, you'll remove that anyways. And once in a while, when you want a deeper clean, that's when you pull out a wheel and tire cleaner or a dedicated tire cleaner. Now, I want to see if there's any brake dust. So we're going to use the Clean by Pan iron remover, very strong and powerful. It's going to give you an indication that there's brake dust to be removed as it turns to a red or purple tint as it reacts. And in this case, there wasn't that much, so we were good to go. And next, while the wheel is clean and wet, we're applying the Clean by Pan Ceramic Spray Sealant version 2. We're using this in a spray-on rinse-off manner. So you spray on, you're going to wait roughly 30 seconds, and then rinse off with your pressure washer or garden hose. You need to have a strong stream of water with spray-on rinse-off, by the way. And that way we're covering the entire wheel for a few months there, because this was not a wheels-off detailing. Next up, we're going to do the contact wash. We're mixing the Clean by Pan demineralizing shampoo. This is the acidic or lower pH soap at a dilution ratio of 1 to 256. That means for 4 gallons of water, we're using 2 ounces of soap. So 15 liters of water, you're adding 60 milliliters of that demineralizing shampoo. And for the contact wash, we're using the Clean by Pan wash mitt. Microfiber, 1070 GSM, 8713 blend, very specific for this one, super soft and plush with a beautiful cuff there to protect your hand. I always wear nitrile gloves, by the way, also when I'm detailing, because you don't want the chemicals to get in contact with your skin, because your skin is the body's biggest organ. So if it's on you, it can go inside of you. So yeah, we're washing from top to bottom in a straight line motion. I try to avoid circular motion when contacting the vehicle, because that's where you're going to get the majority of the swirls and scratches or love marks, is through the contact wash and through the drying phase of the vehicle if you're using a microfiber drying towel. So it's important to use safe washing and drying methods. That way you're not inducing any marring during your contact wash and the drying once again. And I like to work from top to bottom because the lower parts of the vehicle are always the dirtiest. So I keep that for last. In the bucket, if you use a 1 bucket or 2 bucket wash method, it doesn't really matter as long as you have grit guards in the bottom to separate the grit and dirt from the rest of your wash solution. I flip the mitt often. Of course, I redunk and I clean that on the grit guard that's at the bottom to remove any loose grit that might be in the wash mitt itself. And then of course a thorough job of rinsing once again. So it's important to get into the nooks and crannies. Here the Clean by Pan soaps, regardless if it's the demineralizing, the decon, or the straight shampoo, all 3 soaps rinse very freely and easily. Next up, we're going to do a clay step. We're going to use the Clean by Pan clay lube, which is actually the Clean by Pan shampoo V2 diluted in a clay type formula. So lubrication on the surface. You can also use your soapy solution if you want to. And we're going to use the Clean by Pan iron remover. You can dilute it, by the way, 1-to-1 with distilled water, and it still works super good. And we're also using the Clean by Pan clay towel, a synthetic perforated decontamination towel, super fine grade with no abrasives, so it won't mar the surface. So we're using the iron remover, 1 spray on the towel, 1 spray on the surface, and you join the 2 together and you scrub lightly up and down and left and right in a cross hatch pattern. You don't apply any pressure. Let the towel do the job for you. This way we're doing 2 jobs in one. We're removing iron contamination and also further embedded contamination, and it smells less because you're using a lot less of that iron remover, right? You can also, of course, clay the glass and use the iron remover on the glass, because that also is a porous type material and can accumulate iron dust, rail dust, and industrial fallout, all that kind of stuff. So 3 to 4 minutes. Don't let it dry on the surface. Never let any iron removers, by the way, dry on the surface. Don't work in direct sunlight, always on a cool surface. Rinse that thoroughly. thoroughly, and now we're activating my CR Spotless. This is basically my water deionizer that I'm using for the final rinse. This is an optional step, but just helps prevent any mineral buildup because I do have hard water in my home. It's over 150 ppm or parts per million of mineral content. So by using a water deionizer, you have 0 ppm, so no minerals and no chances of water spotting. For drying the wheels and tires, we're using my Ego 650 CFM leaf blower in a cordless manner with a shorter stubby nozzle with a nozzle protector at the end in rubber. So that way, if you accidentally hit the paint, it won't scratch or damage it. So that's because there's water beading, right? Remember, we have protection on the wheels that we applied. For the paint though, we're going to be using the Clean by Pan drying towel because there's no protection. So on one side, you get the twisted loop at a 70-30 blend. And on this side here, the other side is a micro twist 80-20 blend, so that way it won't snag on emblems. You get to pick which side you choose. It's a 35-inch by 27-inch inside, again 1080 GSM. All the clean microfiber towels were done in partnership with the House of Rags, and they're awesome factory in South Korea, so 100% South Korean. So we're drying using a drying towel the rest of the vehicle because there are no hydrophobics, there's no protection. So it'd be counterintuitive to use a blower because a blower works well on protected surfaces because of the water beading and quick sheeting. That's when with the air movement and the air force, you can dry a vehicle very quickly. But now since there's no protection or very little left on the car from whatever was applied at the dealership, we're using a drying towel. I'm doing the glass underneath the rear hatch here for the Stingray because you can see the engine through the glass. So I'm taking care of that now, but we're also going to do the final details later on. Next up, I'm pulling out the Clean by Pan 18mm cordless machine polisher. I'm going to set that to speed number 2 when I'm spreading the product on the surface, and then speed 5 when I'm actually doing correction. I'm pairing it up with the Clean by Pan blue foam polishing pad. The polisher itself comes with 2 batteries, and you get the choice of a 5 or 6-inch backing plate. In this case, I'm using a 5-inch plate. We have all our pads in 3-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch variants. We're going to be using the clean spray polish here, which if you pair it with a polishing pad acts as a polish, and if you pair it with a cutting pad, it acts as a compound. So one product does it all. You activate the polisher while it's spinning, 2 sprays to prime the pad, and then 1 or 2 sprays for subsequent passes when you're reloading. So here on speed number 2, I'm spreading the product around. I'm switching up to speed number 5 for the actual correction. Here the paint was in fairly good condition, not a lot of swirls or scratches, but we want to remove any more of that leftover contamination or film that might be on there. It's going to improve the clarity and the gloss because machine polishing, as you guys know, is what truly provides the best measurable increase in gloss units. So yes, paint protection does help boost that a little bit, but the best way to increase gloss and clarity and of course get pop from your paint is by paint correction. Now, because there weren't too many defects, I'm just using a 1-step correction here, which means just a finishing pad or a polishing pad with the spray polish up and down, left and right. So I do 3 passes, 1 up and down, 1 left and right, and 1 up and down. And then we're going to wipe off with the Clean Jobber 350 microfiber towels, which are good for interior and exterior use. They're very versatile. A 70-30 blend, once again, super high quality. You're going to see that in just a few seconds. And this polisher, as you can see, even in a one-handed operation, it's so smooth and well balanced. It was done in collaboration with Ivan LaCroix from DIY Details. So he had the 25mm throw, and I wanted an 18mm throw in a different colorway. So the rest is identical, same motor, same everything. And just this one here is an 18mm throw, a good blend between a 15 and a 21mm. I'm going to use an inspection light here, which I'm setting to the warmer color temperature. So when you have your light silvers or your white colors, your lighter colors, you're going to use a warmer color temperature. And for your darker colors, like your blacks and your deep blues, that's when you're going to switch to a cooler color temperature, so higher up in the Kelvin range. Here I'm using a ShineMate 3-inch polisher, which I love. It's a cordless unit, and the Clean by Pan white waffle finishing or jeweling pad. So why am I busting this out? Well, this is great for any gloss black trim. So we know those are technically usually super soft. We're priming the pad here again with 2 sprays. That's all you need. And so for the mirrors, the pillars, and even the air scoop intakes on the side, super soft paint. It always seems that you just breathe on this this gloss black trim and it swirls and scratches. Am I right, guys? So I love this white waffle jeweling pad because it's super soft, has barely any cut to it. So you're using the spray polish in this case to quickly polish that up, beautify it, add more clarity. And again, the 350 jobber towel to remove any polishing oils and residue. We're going to further do that too in part number 2 with a panel prep spray. But here we're looking at the end results on the mirror. We made that metal flake pop, and yeah, we removed and got it to what, 95% plus. We're not looking for perfection or a concours d'elegance type finish here because this is a daily driver and you want to preserve as much clear coat as possible, guys. So remember, every time you're polishing, you're removing a finite layer of that clear coat. And well, of course, don't over worry if you machine polish your vehicle every 2 or 3 years. That's fine. If you use safe washing and drying techniques though, you shouldn't have to polish for a while. So here I'm doing the side air scoop intakes, same thing with that white waffle pad. Let's have a look at the end results. Again, clarity, we're getting that pop. There's no haziness left. So this is truly a finishing pad for that geeking out or eking out that last bit of gloss. So before we move ahead to part number 2, where we're going to take care of the panel prep spray to remove polishing oils and residues and apply the 8-year ceramic coating from the Clean by Pan lineup, let's have a look right now. We can immediately tell, hopefully it translates on camera, but the white is popping a lot more now. So now this is as glossy as it gets, and we're like, what, 95% correction at this point. Don't forget to watch part number 2. It might be available now depending on when you're watching this video, but we're doing the panel prep spray, applying the ceramic coating, applying a few touches both on the exterior and interior. It's going to be pretty cool, and I remind you the links to the tools, products, and equipment will be placed in the description under the video. So don't forget, guys, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.